course this isn't a full tour of everything. I do separate videos on each area of my garden, so if you want to see what's growing literally in each area and how it's doing, then I have separate videos on this. This is just a brief show of specific things, and this is to say in this vertical wall garden, I will do it in more detail in another separate video, but I've sown seeds and they're already coming up, such as lettuce, a really big bit of chive, parsley, this is all sown not long ago, more Malabar spinach. Malabar spinach is creating seeds yet again. This is probably about the 5th or 6th amount of seeds on this one. Have some mint, some parsley that was happening last year, it doesn't die off here. There's basil growing, more chives, more parsley, coriander. This one's coriander. You do have to look very specifically to see that's coriander leaves, and this is parsley leaves. I do have them all labelled. Lots of basil coming up from seed, many areas of that. And more little baby chives all over here, and much more besides. So an update on the indoor garden. Ooh, look, empty, nearly empty, the table here. And you'll see Mr. Bean has got a stake. So he's very long now. So I've put him on there. Then we have some different zucchini still growing here. And I've moved the watermelons to here. I'm not in any rush to plant these out. So these are quite small. Have those there. I've got my orange and apple pits always growing here. And look at this. Look how empty. Top shelf empty. This shelf nearly empty. This shelf nearly empty. And tidied up the bottom. So don't think, oh, I've finished growing indoors. No, I'm going to keep going and going and going. Even when it's warm out, I'm going to keep stuff growing indoors because this is my food. So I'll show you what I've done today where it's all gone, and then your next video will be what's growing next on here. So don't think you've missed videos when you go back to that one and suddenly find I've got stuff again. So we have different beans still growing here. These are quite recently seeded. Are already doing quite well. I've just put all the covers back on. I forgot to film before I did it. And then these were the new tomatoes I got. And the lavender, nothing coming up yet. And green spinach, there is a bit of that coming up, but not very much. So there's that. And then the last thing I have is a few more tomatoes here, the small ones. But let's go outside and show you what craziness is going on outside, where all this stuff has gone. Start with the herb and lettuce rack. Most of this has now been transplanted. We've got some parsley still on the back row there, and a few bits of lettuce. And I've just tidied up out here the pots and things I'm using, so they're just on the shelf now out the way. Most of these in my fake greenhouse I have potted up into larger pots. These back two I left, but everything else is now in much bigger pots. So what were in cups are now in the bottoms of milk bottles. Some have gone into big pots, and the back ones are in big pots. So there's no cups left now here. This took me some time. I've just put a little bit more soil in my chives. That was over there, you can see it's in a giant sized pot now. It's a little bit limp because I've only just transplanted that, but it seems to be going very well. Know nothing about it, so give me your tips. All the basil that was along here is now gone into my foraging bed so it can drop its seeds. So we've just got some parsley on the end, then some nut trees. End of the bar has lettuce that's been transplanted. This is the Rosa lettuce. Doing well. Whenever I transplant or move outside, I make sure I've still got covers on everything. Moved a lot more lettuce over here. This is going crazy. So we've got really big lettuce going on here. As you can hear, it's windy now, so I've covered all those. The outside little white table has changed completely. And these were the two lots of tomatoes that were there. We've now only got 2 cucumbers left, 2 small ones. The rest have gone out in a great big pot. All the cats are coming to be on film. All the basil is here now under different covers. Again, doing really well. I just felt they needed covers on because it's got a bit windy. They've just come out again. Malabar spinach, and that's some more basil, doing really well. And the big drawers you'll see now are from my freezer and fridge that broke down, so at least we've got use of the fridge and freezer by using the drawers outside. And this area has increased. I said I wasn't going to grow anything out here this year, but it's been piling up. Moving on, there's tomatoes there going with my fridge drawers on top. And I've just transplanted everything you saw indoors that's gone missing is now out here. And most of these are peppers or tomatoes, but I did plant some other stuff which you'll see in my last video. What else is growing along here? For example, these are melons. But if you want to know what else is along here, then do check out my last video. But as I say, these new ones are mostly tomatoes and peppers that were indoors and they've just been transplanted. Oh look, another fridge drawer. And then we have on the stone table, you'll see there's more. This is only zucchinis, different types of zucchinis, and I'm doing a video because some people are confused about the different words for courgettes and zucchinis, so I'm doing a video on that to help people who are not sure what the differences are. And I've just put covers on all these, so they've all been transplanted into bigger pots. So these were the ones that were up on here, and now these are new ones that were indoors, and I've transplanted them and put them into pots out here, all the different types. And again, if you want to know which ones are in which areas, this is in my last video, keeping the same types in the same areas. So they're doing amazingly well. This, for example, is a new one that was indoors, and I've put it in a bigger pot and brought it out. So there's far more than there was of these. As I say, in bigger pots, and I've now separated them out a little bit more. I grow in clumps, and then as I transplant, I kind of spread them out a bit more to show you the individual ones. So that's what's going on over here. These are the newer ones. And that's the basil in the basket. Basil in the basket. Okay, let's go and show you where the cucumbers are. Here are the cucumbers planted out again. I've just put lots of covers on, forgot about filming. Been so busy trying to get all done. And there is actually a cucumber on one of them already. I will take the covers off during the day, but I'll put them back on in the evening. So there's cucumber under every single one of those. Just a case of remembering to start watering. And that's a little update on what's happened with the indoor garden. As I say, I will start seeding again indoors, and I'll catch you up with what I'm seeding next on the next video of the indoor garden. Don't forget to check out my other videos of all my other areas.